Well, hello and welcome to Gmodism, Total Notary Channel. We're back into Satisfactory, and today we're going to build some AI limiters. Or we're gonna make a little manufacturing facility making as many AI limiters as we can. And why do we want AI limiters? Well, it is a research thing in the MAM, which means we need to research it like everything else. So let us go into the MAM and down on Caterium, I mean. You can scroll down and see this AI limiter. Research this. So why do we want that? Well, AI limiters enable us to make something called smart splitters, which we don't have here. But if we want to make smart splitters, well, then you can see here we have it, smart splitters requires AI limiters. So this thing is something we are going to afford because it will be important in future and also this factory setup. So we're going to manufacture some AI limiters right away so we can unlock it right now. And there we go. So we can go here and go to Caterium again, and here we have it. Unlock the smart splitters. So if we go into our build menu here, we can see we now have the smart splitter, and we're gonna go through this thing a little bit more in detail next episode. But here we can see we can basically select what we want, and overflow is a thing we're gonna use a lot. But again, next time. So here we have a Caterium production where we do make a lot of Quickwire, because that is, well, the only part we do even make with Caterium. So we're producing Quickwire, and you may see that before this was producing 180. And I've taken the exact same recipe like we had. We had 3 machines that produced Quickwire with 12 ingots per minute. So this one is capped to only produce 12 ingots per minute. And I'd taken that exact thing with 3 machines and expanded it and added 1 and half a machine. This thing is only set up to 50%. Which means that the thing, the smelter behind it, is set to 40%, as the smelters were indeed set to 80%, like you see there. So we have a little limited production, and that is because now we are making exactly 270 Quickwire per minute. And we chose 270 because this is the limit of our conveyor belt Mark III. So we can have a single conveyor belt going from here, providing us with 270 Caterium. And as you might imagine, 270, that's basically, so we have each machine, it's using like 36 plus 36 plus 36 plus 36, which is 144, and then plus half of that, 18, 162. And this is the amount of Caterium ore we use. So I could have underclocked this machine, overclocked this machine and have a Mark I, but I instead just chose to make it a Mark II and underclock it to 162 parts per minute. And we are now outputting a nice, healthy amount of Quickwire. Since we already have this set up, we're just going to funnel our resources into our manufacturing facility. So we are going to ride with this little band here. Right now we're syncing each and everything of this. And we are not actually going to use all 270 Quickwire per minute for our needs. We actually only need 240. I've already found where my copper is gonna be, so it's right there. So we're going to connect this little thing here, or actually we're having it here because we need to make sure we can use this transport line with ease. So here we can go and provide it to where we're gonna have the factory, which will be pretty close to the copper. So here we have the Quickwire coming up to here. So 270 of Quickwire just popping in there. And here we have prepared a little area where we can build the copper factory. Because if you didn't, or you didn't, we're gonna check up this AI limiter here. You can see we require copper sheets and we require Quickwire in order to make them. So we have the copper area here in order to make the AI limiters, because we need to make copper sheets out of these. For this factory, we're only going to need actually one miner Mark 1, because this is a pure source. So we need, of course, 120 per minute. So if you had a normal source, you could instead put a miner Mark 2 here, and you would also get 120 copper ore per minute. So since it's 120, we have done this calculation so many times, so we're not going to do it again. We're just going to conclude that, as usual, we need 4 smelters. Funny enough, we have already made a blueprint for this in the earlier little blueprint tutorial. Yeah, so we can actually do the little input here. It should be set up perfectly well. We're gonna check that, of course, and this will be the first time we will be using this. And well, in our how to make the blueprints video, we basically talked about well, how to say the blueprints, and we made this little quad smelter. So it's nothing fancy. It's basically just a smelter facility with, well, 4 smelters. And that gives us an input and an output of 120. So if we need a little refresher, we can just walk into here, and here we can see it's very crammed. But it's basically just 4 smelters aligned like this. And we have an input here, and we got an output. So of course we need to set up this for copper. Control C, Control V, Control V, and Control V like that. Right, so we're gonna make some copper sheets, and this outputs 120 ore per minute, and this facility here outputs 120 ingots per minute. So then if we go into a constructor here, we can make copper sheets, and that's 20 per minute. And pretty predictably, 120 divided by 20 is 6. So we are gonna have 6 machines on full speed connected up to this facility, and we should be able to make 60 copper sheets per minute. So each of these produce 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60 per minute. And then we're gonna use this output, combine it with some quick wires in order to make the final product. But that is a little bit later. First up, we're gonna connect up this thing. And there is the last one. So there we have the copper sheets. We have the quick wire on top there. That's 270 per minute, and we're only gonna need 240 per minute. So why do we have this limit here? Well, here we have the AI limiters. We're gonna use a assembler in order to construct them. We will require 25 copper sheets per minute, and we're gonna require 100 quick wire per minute. Alright, so then we're gonna have some interesting shenanigans here. So we have 60 copper sheets per minute, but we need 25 per machine. So then we can have 2.4 machines. And that's quite nice, because 2.4 times 100 is 240. So we're gonna be using 240 out of that 270 Quickwire per minute, and then we will be able to produce 12 AI limiters per minute. And that should be enough, and the AI limiters is a great thing to produce at mass. We're probably not gonna need 12 per minute in this stage of the game at all, but it's good to have because we can sync them and get some points, because they are quite valuable in the sync for points. So there we have it, 2.4 assemblers. That basically means that we can take one down to a little slower speed, like that, and then we can see it's 25 plus 25 plus this 10 and 40, and that's 240. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Alright, so we are connecting up the things to the assemblers here. We'll do a regular connection up like this because everything is perfectly balanced, so there is no need to split them up in 3 like that. We can just connect them in a regular line like this. And here we have the Quickwire. Now we're gonna use 240 per minute, so we make sure it's like Mark 3 until we get to the each connection. Then we can get away with just Mark 2. Right. Now I'm going to show you a little kind of ugly fix here that, you know, we can see this Mark II belt. We can't get down here. Okay, what do? We can take a lift, drag it down, and if we rotate it, we may hear it click like this, and that means this connection works. And it's kind of a not too nice little fix, but it kind of works. So anyways, here we have the AI limiters inside the assemblers. We can set them up here. So this one, if you remember, one of them is gonna be 40, and the other ones can be just 100 like this. Go down there, there we have it, 100. So now we should be making some AI limiters here, and I've connected up the output already, which comes out here. So this is the line back, a Mark 1 belt. We should be producing 12 per minute, so a Mark 1 belt is absolutely more than enough for this. If we just see here, can connect it up, make it look a little bit nice. And now, here we have these, the Quickwire coming from this band here. And it's gonna be a little bit more than we actually need. So here is a time where we're gonna use the smart splitter for the first time. So I'm gonna show you one of the awesome things we can do with the smart splitter. Right, so go into logistics. Select the smart splitter. You can just add one here. And then right here, we're gonna have a merger. Perfect. So, looking at the direction of the smart splitter, and by the way, we're gonna cover the smart splitter in more detail next time, but this is just a little quick check here. So, we go here, the center output will be any, and the left output we're gonna set as overflow. Right. This means we can connect up this little Mark 1 belt there, connect it back here. So, if we have too much of the Quickwires, if there are more Quickwires than we actually can use, the Quickwires will get merged into this belt with the AI limiters. And these AI limiters we will get home to our base. And now we're gonna use 240 per minute, but we have 270. So 270 minus 240, that's 30. And 30, which is the thing that it's gonna be over, plus how many AI limiters do we make? Well, 12, that's 42. So the mixed output of the AI limiters together with these will actually fit on a Mark 1 belt. So that's pretty cool. And in the base, we are of course gonna split off the Quickwire and the limiters, so we have those materials at hand, and that's gonna be pretty cool indeed. But that's basically the setup here. Not much more advanced than that, and we got to use our blueprint that we made earlier too. And if you missed that, you should of course check our earlier tutorials as well, because we checked on the blueprint, little setup video I made. You can see how I actually made this blueprint here. It's pretty handy. Now we're gonna look at a little problem here that might arise when we do this. So basically, here we can see we have an issue. Now I temporarily overclocked this machine just to see this earlier. But this machine is able to output the resources very well. But if we look down the line here, this machine is not able to output. It's always full, and it's at like 200 here, and it's at like an efficiency of 12%. And why does this happen? Well, basically, if we go back here and look at the assemblers, you can see that each production turn, we need 5 copper sheets. 5 of them. And this means that this little load balancing system we have here, it moves slowly. If we had Mark 1 belts and we would have split them up evenly, we could not care about this issue actually. But since we made this little compact design, there is a slowness in the system because it's moving slowly and it takes 5 of them, and it kind of blocks and it doesn't make it so that it doesn't trickle down to each of the areas as easily. And that makes the output from the earliest machines here not basically get to the other side in time. So how can we solve that issue? Well, if we make this little transport band here a little bit quicker from the output of these machines into this splitter here, and to each of them like there, so that we can feed the machines quicker than we do right now. Now we're missing steel, okay. So at least a little bit quicker here. And when we do that, these machines can get, like, they are loaded much more quickly, and then we can mitigate or rather completely remove the slowness in the system when it gets a little bit more snappy like this. And we should see that the efficiency of this machine should go up to normal. And of course I overclocked them to kind of find this issue here, so I'm going to make sure they are back to regular not overclocked speeds. Right, so now we can see it's producing, and this thing should be moving a little bit better. So after quite some time, you should be getting increased percentage in value production, and everything should eventually reach 100. And since we're dealing with pretty large volumes, this may take some time. And there we have it. That's basically how we set up our 12 per minute AI limiter manufacturing facility, and we got some overflow of the extra quick wires getting to our home as well. So that is quite nice. Seems to be working pretty fine. Everything approaching 100% efficiency, and of course we're gonna set up some stuff with smart splitters in the next little episode, so that will be quite interesting indeed. Well, that's something that we will be back for next time. So indeed, hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will be seeing you in the next episode, because this is your host Gmodism with our little Satisfactory guides in parts. And if you missed some important tips, that's probably because we explained what you needed to know in the previous little video. Oh my god, that didn't work very well. Okay, can't switch to camera when folding apparently. And yeah, I've connected up some ingots to my Fixmas event thing, so I don't need to fill it manually. Even I got tired. But any case, enjoy very much your AI limiters, and I'll see you next time with some smart splitter advice. This is your host Gmodism. We're signing out.